Remember how Joe Biden lied to a bunch of people saying that he was going to get rid of student debt? Nope. Trump administration goes after pensions, wages, tax returns to claw back student loan debt. Y'all like the video right here, and check this out.
In other news, the Trump administration has announced we will put an end to Joe Biden's illegal student loan bailout attempts. No student loan has been referred to collections since March of 2020. That comes to an end. On May 5th, the Department of Education will resume involuntary collections for borrowers with defaulted federal student loans. The student loan portfolio controlled by the federal government is nearly $1.6 trillion. But fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers are in repayment. This is unsustainable, unfair, and a huge liability for American taxpayers. Debt cannot be wiped away. It just ends up getting transferred to others. So why should Americans who didn't go to college or went to college and responsibly paid back their loans pay for the student loans of other Americans? The Trump administration will never force taxpayers to pay student loan debts that don't belong to them. Student loan borrowers need clarity, and we're finally giving it to them. Borrowers will now be clearly expected to repay their loans, and those who default on their loan obligations will face involuntary collections.
Yes, you heard that clearly. The Trump administration is holding people accountable and having them pay back those student loans. And of course people are hot because what? Loans have to be paid back? It's your girl JD, y'all, for another episode of Conservative Black Girls. Let's get it.
The government can and will collect defaulted federal student loan debt by withholding money from borrowers, tax refunds, federal pensions, and even their wages. America is $36 trillion in debt. We must get our fiscal house in order and restore common sense to our country. If you take out a loan, you have to pay it back. It's very simple.
Okay, y'all. So starting May 5th, 2025, the U.S. Department of Education will resume collections on defaulted federal student loans, including actions like wage garnishment and tax refund seizure. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Donald Trump is making it very clear that this marks the official end of the pandemic era protections. People are upset about this, guys. So over 5 million borrowers are currently in default, and this number is definitely expected to rise. So the resumption of the collections will hit the low-income borrowers the hardest. That's what's being said, particularly those who haven't enrolled in the repayment plans or they haven't taken advantage of the Biden administration's income-driven repayment option. So if you didn't get into those while you had the chance, it's coming down on you now. Like, you're going to get it hard. And remember, this is all starting after the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness plan was struck down by the Supreme Court in 2023. While the administration introduced the SAVE plan to ease repayments, it too has faced legal roadblocks, prompting a return to collections as a means of enforcement. This affects a lot of Americans on both sides of the aisle. Conservatives argue this is about personal responsibility and taxpayer fairness, with progressives arguing the system is fundamentally broken and exploitive, especially for younger generations burdened by debt. We're going to dive right into the facts. So, some of the wording has people confused. Let's clear that right up. Delinquency occurs when a borrower misses a payment. A loan remains delinquent until the missed payment is made or enters default. Default happens when a loan is 270 days past due, roughly about 9 months, with no payment at all. Okay, so the loan is considered in default, triggering collections effort like wage garnishment or withholding tax refunds. So that's the difference there. Now, like I said, according to the student loan statistics, more than 5.3 million borrowers are currently in default, and the US has over 1.6 trillion in federal student loan debt. Ouch. Nearly 43 million Americans hold some form of federal student debt. Now, Democrats are saying the repayment plan is going away. And the good news is the repayment plans are not being eliminated, guys. They are, however, being restructured and limited. The SAVE plan, which stands for Saving on a Valuable Education, designed to reduce payments and prevent ballooning interest, was temporarily blocked in court, but that doesn't take away from the other repayment plans like IBR, PAY, and ICR, which remain available with application windows reopened as of March 26, 2025. Now, borrowers who are already in the SAVE plan are placed in administrative forbearance, which means no payments due, no interest occurring until at least September 2025. Even with all these provisions being made, people are still evading their responsibilities.
I'm not paying back my student loans. I do not care. Oh, but what about your credit score? What am I going to do with a good credit score? Buy a house on starvation wages? Buy a car I can't afford to insure? I'm not paying them back. I don't give a shit about my credit score. Oh, they're going to garnish your wages. Most of us are underemployed. If they start taking additional money out of my paycheck, I just won't work. My life will not get worse. I'm not going to have the money anyway, so you can't garnish what isn't there. I grew up in a far-right, conservative, hardcore Republican family, and since like kindergarten, I have been conditioned to believe that if I did not go to college, I would not be successful. I was told that if I locked in, got great grades in high school, got into college, focused, and got my degree, that I would have a life similar to the life my parents had, where my dad worked one job for like 35 years, was able to buy a house and go on vacation and support his family. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no jobs out there with pension plans. There's no jobs out there that let people my age just like buy a house. So what was all that work for? Generations of Americans have been told that if they went to college and they did the right thing, took out these loans, that it would be worth it. And most of us are finding out it's not even remotely close to worth it. You're telling me these millionaires and billionaires were able to get these PPE loans forgiven that they took out during the pandemic for millions of dollars, but I have 30 grand in college debt left and I'm refusing to pay it back, and now I'm the problem?
The educated left. Often Democrats' claim to fame is their education, but when it's time to pay it back, now student loan debt is a crisis. Progressives claim the system sets young people up to fail, especially those from low-income backgrounds or first-generation college students. They yell about the Biden administration trying, emphasizing that President Biden proposed the SAVE plan to offer relief, but was blocked in court due to lawsuits led by Republican attorneys general. It's systemic failure, not personal responsibility, by the way. They argue many students were misled by universities and private lenders, and that public education should not put people in debt for decades. But these are the same people who were just rooting for Harvard not too long ago when they filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration. Progressives have gone on to college to get their degrees in things like gender studies and want to complain about rising costs and stagnant wages. Many of the left highlight how the cost of college has skyrocketed while wages have stayed flat, making repayment more difficult and often impossible for lower earners. This one user says, as someone with thousands of dollars in student loans, this all feels so abrupt. How do you give people only days to organize their lives for such major expenses? Honestly, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And when did you think that it was going to be time to pay back something that you owed? This other commenter goes on to say, student loans are wild. Like, look, a teenager. Give them a massive loan with an astronomical interest rate. Then tell them how dumb and irresponsible they are when they're 24 and wondering if they'll ever pay it off. This other commenter says student loans are disgusting. Forcing people to pay them back during an extremely stressful economic time is aberrant. Abhorrent. Am I saying that right? Maybe one of the educated progressives can let me know down in the comments if I'm saying that right. You can put that education to use considering you're going to be paying back those loans pretty soon anyway. This last commenter goes on to say, I have student loans. They are private loans because the government would not lend to someone with wealthy parents. My parents were not able to pay for a D1 university out of pocket, nor would I expect them to. I worked full-time all the way through college and now pay my loans back monthly. That was my choice to take our loans. I do not understand the argument against not paying your loans. Take accountability. Precisely. Many conservatives share this sentiment. You borrowed it, you pay it back. personal responsibility is a core tenet. The argument is that forgiving loans penalizes those who've already paid and rewards fiscal irresponsibility. Conservatives want taxpayer fairness, underlining that it's unfair to shift the cost of student loans to taxpayers who didn't even attend college or already paid off their student loan debt. And while the system isn't perfect, the rules were clear. We can agree that higher education reform is needed, but canceling debt doesn't fix the broken system, which is exactly why Carolyn Leavitt, National Press Secretary, called the Biden administration's failed forgiveness effort a political stunt that misled voters with promises they legally couldn't keep. So all in all, guys, we're going to have to pay the loans back, period. And I say we because I have student loans too. Granted, I'm in a repayment plan and I should be done pretty soon, but regardless, we signed the paperwork, we agreed to the terms, and now the bills are due. Like, that's just reality. But let's talk about Biden for a second. The way he sent off Democrats and lied to people as if he was going to come in and just wipe all your problems clean with getting rid of student loan debt was just plain evil. He knew this wasn't really in his power. The Biden administration pretended it was within their authority to cancel student loans through executive order, but the Supreme Court made it crystal clear they didn't have that power. So what did they do? They played in your face. They did not give you a chance at even believing you were ever going to have to pay these loans back. So honestly, I can understand the frustration of the left. But this is your party that did this. Where's the accountability for them? They pandered to you all, making promises they couldn't keep just to gain your support. And now look, y'all feel played. But here's the other part to this. College is a choice. No one forced you to go. And yes, I do understand that in some households, parents push college hard, okay? Even to the point of saying, go to school or get out. But for most people, college is a decision, and that decision comes with the responsibilities. And with that decision comes with the responsibility to understand what you're signing up for. And if you major in something with no practical application in today's economy, or something that's been overtaken by tech and automation, that was your decision too. You can't study art history and be shocked when the job market doesn't reward that. Bottom line, you took out a loan, pay it back. That's the system. Pay me what you owe me. Don't act like you forgot. Anyway, don't try to game the system. Y'all trying to game it after the fact just because you're out here struggling. If we want to change how education is funded, great. But until then, you owe what you owe. So there you have it. Avoiding repayments doesn't make you a victim. It just makes you an irresponsible adult. I digress. But I would definitely like to know what you all think about this. Do y'all believe the government should cancel student debt across the board? Or do y'all think personal responsibility means everyone pays their own way? Should we fix the system first, or do we collect and hold people accountable now? Let us know what you think. Hit us up on Threads, Instagram, and give us your opinion on this, because this definitely affects both Democrats and Republicans, people on both sides of the aisle. All right, y'all, it's your girl Jada. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.